There is really nothing like summer in Perth, Western Australia. A modern world city with the beautiful Swan River serves as the ultimate location for one of the most spectacular horse riding events anywhere in the world. It is here, Perth, where more than 100 riders from around Western Australia and the world converge to participate in a high-energy, fast-paced spectacle. Eventing is considered the ultimate test for horse and rider. Both must work together in perfect harmony to succeed in this most brutal of competition. This sport is anything but one-dimensional. There are three areas of focus. First, there is the dressage test, a series of movements judged on accuracy, calmness, obedience and harmony between horse and rider. Then there are the cross-country parts of competition. Long jumps and water features ensures that horse and rider need to be in excellent physical shape to be in contention. Finally, the show jumping segment is the technical display of horse and rider together. These fences and jumps are brightly coloured and contain elements that can be knocked down with just the slightest touch. Normally, an event of this type with dressage, cross-country and show jumping is contested over 3 days. But not this one. Horse and rider have to perform it all. Not just in one day, but in just one shot. For eventing in the park, they tackle this course. Sight unseen for the horse. You will see it all. Man versus woman, young against old, Olympic stars, new faces compete against the clock and the course with a chance to win over $110,000 in prizes. Eventing in the park brings this exciting sport to Perth and the banks of the Swan River, where spectators enjoy an up-close and personal view from the comfort of VIP marquees as these riders and their magnificent horses tackle this uniquely designed, beautiful and challenging course. It will be an event too good to miss. Welcome to Eventing in the Park, presented by Solid Gold Diamonds, the town of Victoria Park and Channel 9.
Welcome to Eventing in the Park for 2014. This is a lovely location here on the South Perth foreshore and we hope you enjoy this unique event.
Coming up on the show, we have riding legend Clayton Fredericks tell us what Eventing in the Park is all about. We also chat to some top riders and their hopes in the event. Then we get into solid gold diamond class competition as riders aim to win a brand new Shaq's Holden Barina. After checking out the town of Vic Park fashions in the field and some of the Spices catering, whining and dining on show, we then see the best of the best battle it out in the Shaq's Holden Grand Prix class with an awesome Holden Captiva up for grabs. Catch it all here in beautiful Perth, Western Australia, where you won't miss a moment.
Eventing is the ultimate test of horse and rider, comprising 3 disciplines: dressage, cross-country and show jumping. The scores from each combine to produce an overall total, with the lowest score the ultimate winner. Eventing in the Park is bringing all the best parts of eventing and show jumping and condensing them into a spectacle of what is the 2020 cricket version of the sport, in true Grand Prix style. Eventing could be termed an equestrian triathlon. The challenge for event riders is finding and training the one horse to be successful in all 3 disciplines. A horse that can be elegant and obedient in the dressage, fast and brave on the cross-country, and careful in the show jumping. Here today at Eventing in the Park, you will see a condensed version of the traditional sport of eventing, combining the two most exciting disciplines of cross-country and show jumping into one action-packed event. It will demand the ultimate in concentration and athletic ability.
Time to check out the top 3 rides in the solid gold diamond class here as part of Eventing in the Park. And we're going to start with Michael D'Agostino, a well-known competitor in Western Australia, heavily involved in the Oakford and Showgrounds Equestrian Centre. Joining me in commentary to give you the blow-by-blow description, Sean Lowry.
Dean, thank you very much. And as the proprietor of the Equestrian Centre, Mike does bring a lot of support with him in the crowd, and he plays up to it beautifully. He's one of the crown jester of eventing here in Western Australia, and we're happy to see him clear over the first pink and grey galah.
I thought that was you.
No. The pink and grey galah was named after Mike D'Agostino, and we're happy to have him here, and we wish him all the best. He's completed the first 2 fences and around to the very big Kentor Christmas fence, up through the solid gold, up onto the bank made especially for the event here, and the arena looks in spectacular order. Coming around now to the Spices picnic table, another big wide fence, a cross-country type fence. Clear over there, the QBE fence, and now the big double eyebrows. Quite a very tricky. Now you'll see the horse twist there on the first element. Straightens up, Mike's experience there. He just felt the horse wasn't quite on the mark there. He just gave him one little tap. Quite all right, just a little bit of an awakener. Oh, a bit of a tricky spot there. There was a bit of a thrill, but thankfully no spill there for Mike as he pops up over the bank again to the Burswood on the Swan and wheels around onto the left rein. About halfway through his course now as he comes up to one of the show jumping elements of this competition. 3 show jump fences in a row. You'll see Mike steadying the big horse. 1 stride, 2 strides, pops through nicely, no penalties. And now a big solid jump there as he wheels around past the Channel 9 fence and comes around for another lap of this impressive arena. The big Channel 9 fence, a big wide fence again. Kicks the horse along. Puts his hand out and acknowledges his adoring crowd there on the right-hand side. I warned you about Mike. He does play up to the crowd. Another big fence there as this horse is rolling on in lovely rhythm. Now, the riders don't know the distance that they need to the cover, and it's up to their experience to get in that right rhythm and get the correct time on the day. So they come around now to the Winteringham recruitment fence, a lovely big pink fence there right in the middle of the course, and a little bit tricky there at the Narrows fence. And Kendleston Park Supreme, his horse today, really looking, watch his ears, you'll see him focus. When those ears prick forward, the railway crossing, 1 stride again. Those fences will fall if they hit them. 1 fence to go now, the Black Swan. Mike eases up. Oh, back to a trot. That's bold. Oh, my goodness. Dago, you cease to amaze us, but clear at the last fence, and we'll check that time.
Yeah, no penalties, and there's a time for D'Agostino. Good ride.
Jess Manson is the hometown favourite. She comes fresh from a big win in Adelaide last month, and she's here to try to make it 2 in a row. Jess, firstly, congratulations on your win at Adelaide last month. You've since made the long trip back to Perth. Is Legal Star, known to his fans as Trumby, on form and ready to win?
Yeah, so thank you. I think Trumby's definitely on form. He pulled up well from Adelaide and he's travelled well from South Australia back to WA, so I think he definitely could be in with a chance.
You finished 14th last year on this horse at Eventing in the Park. What did you learn from that experience, and how have you altered your preparation this year?
Yeah, so I think at Eventing in the Park last year I had prepared him a little bit differently. I'd also run him at Adelaide just before Eventing in the Park last year. I've changed a few things in between the 2 events, and I think our preparation's been a bit different. He's also has been on better form this year, so I think hopefully he'll be in with a better chance.
So you and Trumby obviously have a great partnership, having been together for 8 years. How much of an advantage do you think that is compared with some of the other riders that are competing on borrowed horses?
Trumby and I have been together for a very long time. We do know each other very well. I think that definitely helps, especially in this situation where there's a lot of atmosphere, there's a lot going on. I think it certainly helps when you know your horse that bit better. Saying that though, I think the riders that we have here, they're all very, very good riders. They're on good horses, so I think they will also be hard to beat still.
So you're WA born and raised. What's it going to mean to you to win here in front of your home crowd?
Oh, it would definitely mean a lot. Obviously, it's very exciting to, you know, win wherever you are, but to be back in WA and to win in front of a home crowd would definitely be very special.
We continue our focus on the solid gold diamond class, and this time it's Kate Ingham who's on the eventing WA Equestrian Committee, so very passionate about this sort of event, to say the least. Sean Lowry.
Yeah, certainly, Dean. Kate's come from being a competitor at Pony Club to a competitor at open level, and now sort of showing a hand at the other side, the organising side, so fantastic to see, and she's been having a great season. And this horse, we're halfway through this class, so she's seen some of the results already, and this horse, Asti Aspiration, going along nicely. He doesn't look too forward. He's just going through that lovely canter, which at this level they need to be doing. She seems to be getting a nice line through the fences. The horse, look at his ears, they're pricked. He's really taking note of what Kate's asking him through the double eyebrows. One of the tricky fences there for this grade of horse. And now wheeling around to the first element into the water, always a tricky one. Riders aren't quite sure of how now. He backed off, he backed himself off there. He got a little bit crooked into the fence, but Kate, with all her experience, straightened him up, kept him going forward. A bit like a car getting a bit slippery on a corner. You keep those wheels straight and keep the accelerator going, Dean.
Yeah, amazing. Certainly good effort so far.
Okay, around to the show jumping element. This is a tricky one. This is the treble combination. 3 fences, very close together. The horses have to really listen and show how gymnastically clever they are. And Asti Aspiration certainly didn't take any fences, so no further penalties. Big jump here at the blue Channel 9 fence, one of our great sponsors this year, and happy to see them on board the big blue Channel 9 fence. Around the corner, a very short approach to the Shacks Holden car, and now coming up to one of the very tricky fences. Into the water. Oh, very tight there for Kate. And this horse starting to get a little bit strong. You can see her leaning back in the saddle, really taking hold and making sure that he doesn't rush on too fast. Oh yeah, I had my heart in my mouth there in that water fence, because he did look like he was coming in, but Kate knew better than me. She sat and just held him and asked him to trust her, and he certainly did. Through the railway crossing, one stride through there, and now to the Black Swan. 1 fence to go for Kate. She sees a good stride, saw a lovely stride there and let him take it, and she's a very happy girl. That wasn't a smack, that was a slap of joy, and a big pat for the big Asti Aspiration.
I guess that was an impressive effort from Kate, and there's no penalties in the time. But I guess, Sean, I'd like to ask you about all the different elements in this sort of event. It's not just show jumping, it's a variety of disciplines, and I guess that makes it really tricky for the rider and horse.
Well, it's something that is taking off worldwide, and it is testing the rider's ability at both disciplines. It's a bit like the modern heptathlete, or being able to hone their skills over so many different disciplines and so many facets of equestrian sport.
Speaking of honing and speaking of talented, this man, well, Clayton Fredericks, we've spent a bit of time on the show with him, and he is now about to put that reputation on the line on ESB Irish Specialist.
Yes, Irish Specialist, a horse that is owned by Bridget Wass. Bridget's been a great supporter of Clayton over many years, and I think she was thrilled to give Clayton the ride on this beautiful grey horse, and he is going along at a lovely rate now. Again, he's seen quite a few of the horses go through. I had a bit of a chat to Clayton, mentioning he's lucky number 13, and I'm sure he's just going to blow that myth out of the water today. Oh, a lovely line through that big double brush, and Clayton pushing on now. I mentioned earlier that they're not aware of the speed that they have to cover the ground on, so it really does come back to their experience. Ooh, a little bit hesitant there. He just had a little half stride in front there, but Clayton sat tight. And the good riders, you'll see them not do a lot. It looks like they're not doing a lot at all, but they're sending a lot of very positive messages to the horses. This lovely horse, Irish, going along nicely now. And here we come down to the solid gold treble. 3 fences, all show jump rails. If he touches these fall off, and he incurs penalties straight away. Oh, very clean through. Pushing the horse on now as he sees the fence there, just near the cameras that we have in position this year, and around the corner, fence 15, the Channel 9 fence, no problems. This horse, look at him, he's such a beautiful horse. His ears are pricked. He's really focusing on what Clayton's asking him. Over the Shacks Holden fence. Now, Clayton went to the left-hand side there. He obviously feels that gives him a better line onto the Dolphin fence. Clear for Clayton there. A lot of horses have taken that fence and caused penalties, and very, very narrow fence at the back element of that water complex. The Windringham recruitment fence and up to the Narrows jump. Beautiful. Not many horses have had problems there today, Dean. That's been a very easy fence for them after some of the big questions. There's still some questions to go. This railway crossing just sits there in little cups. If they hit that one, that falls, and there's penalties. One fence to go. Clayton, a clear round. He's going to be very close to the money on the big grey horse, and he pushes through. I think he knows he's really close to the line here, and let's see what the judges say.
So, the man that wins the Holden Barina Spark, thanks to Shacks, is Clayton Fredericks. Well done on ESB Irish Specialist. And there is the remainder of your top 10 field. Fantastic riding to start the event here, thanks to Solid Gold Diamonds.
Congratulations winning the event.
Thanks so much, mate.
Got the brand new Holden Barina Spark. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, looks good.
There's the keys, and we'll go for a spin around the...
Might be a long drive back to Florida, but I'll give it a go. You know, I've been based overseas for 25 years now, and to come back to Perth and have an event that's developed like this, and to then be able to win it, it means an awful lot to me. So I'm really proud of that. Am I allowed to spin it up a bit or what?
All right, good burning.
A great part of eventing in the park is the public course walk. This gives spectators the opportunity to get up close and personal with the jumps and give them a real feel for the complexity and the fine details gone into every single jump on course.
With a Holden Captiva on the line, it's time to check out Shacks Grand Prix action. And we start with Michael D'Agostino on Razzle Dazzle. He toured South Africa in 2002 with the WA eventing team. Joining us once again is Sean Lowry.
Thanks, Dean. And of course, this is Mike's second ride today. He had a great ride earlier in the Diamond class, so he has a little bit of an advantage here. He knows what the going's like, and he certainly has a bit of an appreciation of how these fences are riding. Nicely over the Solid Gold, up onto the bank and the hay roll. Now, this time the horses have 30 jumping efforts. 30, it's a big effort.
Ow.
That's a big effort on a big day, and these fences just keep coming over the very big QBE fence, and now over the Horseland Boot, one of the newer fences in this class. And we wish Mike the best. Through the big ring of fire, we talked about that one there as the horses were walking the course earlier, and a few riders thought it might have been on fire, but it got their attention. A little bit safer through the water this time on his more experienced horse, up over the bank and down over the Burswood on the Swan. Hasn't caused too many problems for the more experienced horses. Now around the corner onto the Solid Gold. Now this is the quadruple bar. This is a complex very rarely tackled by event horses or show jump. 4 jumps in a row, so really does test their ability to be supple, gymnastic, and really listen to the horses. Angled fences there, 2 big fences, and Mike kicking this horse along now, Razzle Dazzle. He knows the pace he has to go at. As I mentioned, this is his second ride, so he does have that little bit of edge on his on his competitors. A big jump there through the TAB, and gives his crowd again, playing up to the crowd as he always does, and that's what we expect from Mike. And he gave him a little bit of a wave as he jumped that big TAB double. Coming up now to the water complex. Oh, just takes the back rail there. Nothing to be ashamed of. Plenty of horses have taken that today, but it's only some minor penalties indeed. Coming up to the Winteringham recruitment fence. Lovely big complex right in front of the arena. Up to the Narrows fence again. Just building blocks on top of those, so if those horses clip one of those building blocks, it's penalties straight away, but none for Razzle Dazzle and Mike D'Agostino. The big Shacks Holden Ute drives on now to the Little Mushroom, a very narrow fence. All sorts of questions being asked of these horses. The last fence, Mike saw a lovely stride, and wouldn't you know it, plays up to the crowd again, and a lovely round by Mike D'Agostino on his second horse, Razzle Dazzle.
Nice job by Michael D'Agostino. He's had a very busy day so far. As we move on to Jess Manson, we've already had a chat to her on Legal Star. And, man, she runs the eventing business in the Swan Valley area of WA and has come in with hot form, Sean, after the CCI 4-star event in Adelaide.
Well, the 4-star, the only 4-star event in the Southern Hemisphere, Dean, and this young lady from Western Australia on a horse that she has brought up all by herself. And she is on top of the world, this young lady. This horse almost fresh off the truck and from South Australia, beating the best that Australasia could throw at her. And this combination here on the little grey horse, and she beat them all. So watch out for Rio for 2016 with Jess Manson and Legal Star. And they are going along beautifully. Looks lovely and fresh. Really attentive to Jess as they come around to the first water element here. Very neat, very clean. Oh, he's such a clever little horse. He's not a big brute of a thing, and they are well suited. Some of the lady riders tend to try and get big horses to compensate or something. They think the bigger the better, but boy, this little horse, he's a little pocket rocket. Now through the 4 fences here, 2 strides, 1 stride, another 2 strides, and out the back. No penalties for Legal Star and Jess Manson. Angled fences. 2 strides again. This horse is very clever, and you know, when you win a big event like Adelaide, it's not by any chance. It's all by hard work and precision riding. And Jess is really showing us here, bringing it back to Perth only a couple of weeks after winning that 4-star event in Adelaide, and she's showing us why she's really at the top of her game. This little horse going beautifully. Now, a real big question here: the Dolphin fences, a really light little touch rail on the top. Oh, the little horse just listened to her, didn't bat an eyelid, and lifted those front legs up as quickly as he could, and didn't incur any penalties. The Winteringham recruitment fence, the big pink fence in the middle of the arena, clear at the Narrows Bridge. She can almost smell the finish line. There's no penalties here. The clock is really going to be close. The rhythm looks great, and we'll leave it up to the timekeepers. Over the Shacks Holden, one of our great sponsors here, of course, supporting with the cars as the prizes. 1 fence to go. The Black Swan fence. How's the clock going? Legal Star, Jess Manson. She looks across at the clock. What does the judges say?
Nice time and no penalties scored for Jess Manson. A great job.
Solid Gold Diamonds Fashions on the Field showcase Perth's fashionistas. Today, the top 24 are battling it out on the catwalk for the $5,000 prize pool thanks to Solid Gold Diamonds.
This year hasn't entirely gone to plan for Olympian Chris Burton. Having been selected once again to represent Australia at the World Championships in Normandy, he was forced to withdraw his horse prior to the cross-country phase. He's here today at Eventing in the Park, hopeful to finish 2014 on a high. So Chris, this is your first time to Perth. What are your impressions of the city?
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say it's my first time to WA, but it's great to be here. Good to see what all the hype is about, and a beautiful city it is, and been great weather since I've been here, so it seems like a nice place to live, Clay.
And Eventing in the Park, what are your impressions of this event compared with the big ones you've been to all around the world?
Isn't it fantastic? What a great setting here in front of the river with the city as a backdrop. I think that's really special. These classes, are, as you know, are quite unique, and they're always an exciting class, so anything can happen, but it's a great layout and we're looking forward to riding it.
So Chris, you famously won the Adelaide 4-star last year on a borrowed horse. You're on another borrowed horse here this time. How difficult is that, and what do you reckon your chances are?
It is difficult catch riding, but sometimes you don't have the baggage because you don't know the horse, so you tend to ride off your feel a lot more. I don't think I can get that lucky 2 times in a row. I think that that's a big ask, and that was a special thing, but looking forward to it. So
as you know, Chris, the first prize is a brand new Holden. The second prize is diamonds from Solid Gold. Has there been any pressure from your girlfriend to go for second and not first?
Yeah, sure. Beck would love to have all those diamonds, but first place would suit me better, if I'm honest.
She's known as a courageous rider, and her grandparents trained horses, multi-generation passion for this sport, and I'm talking about Tegan Lush on Touchstone Felix, Sean.
Tegan's second ride around today on Felix, and went quite nicely on a very inexperienced horse in the diamond class. So I'm sure she's now got a good feel of the way things are going, the crowd, the excitement of the day as she goes through the Solid Gold fence up on top of the bank especially built and very cleverly built for this arena type complex. And this horse is going along nicely. Tegan has competed in eastern states, as a lot of these horses and riders have, so very experienced, and as you mentioned before, riding and horses are in the blood with Tegan. Starting to get this horse into a nice rhythm. He's really rolling along nicely underneath her, coming up to the water just where she wants him. Oh, lovely big jump over that jetty. Some dummies there placed on the jetty have caused some of the horses some concern, but not Felix. Felix was listening to Tegan, and that's just how you want them, right on the job. And he's coming in now to the 4-line show jump fence here. Clear 2, clear 3, one more, no penalties, beautifully jumped through there. Tegan just having a little bit of a grab there. You'll see her hands coming up and really taking a firm, strong hold on this big horse. He does like to roll, remembering out on the cross-country course, these horses travel a lot faster and a lot stronger, so they're being asked to really bring back in the energy and listen to the riders. A lot of horses can't quite handle this format of the competition. The better horses will, the better rider-horse combinations will handle it. Over the apex corner there, the Shack's Holden, coming around now to one of the fences that has really claimed some victims earlier on. No problems there over the Dolphin fence and the very narrow brush fence. Well over 2/3 of the way through the course now. The Winteringham recruitment fence, a big W right in the middle of the arena, and a clean pop over the Narrows Bridge fence there. A lovely fence to have as part of this competition right on the Swan River here in Perth, Western Australia. A lovely bold jump there by Tegan and Felix, and the angle there doesn't quite do the fence justice. It's very wide and very big, and these horses really listening to their riders beautifully as they insist that they jump at exactly where they want. And Tegan rolled through the finish line very quickly there. I think she knew she was close to the line, and what do the judges say?
Yeah, nice job there by Tegan. We move to Kate Ingham. We've seen Kate early in the day, now riding in contention for a Holden Captiva prize, thanks to Shack's Holden in this beautiful location on the Swan River, Perth, Western Australia, Eventing in the Park. Sean Lowry, this should be a good ride on Springfield Caesarina.
Now this horse is owned by the Bagley family, who have supported Kate over many years, and great to see Kate doing a great job on Caesarina. And let's see how they're starting to warm into their course. The horse looks bold. He's getting a little bit strong. Kate, you see there, just having to lift her hands, just take a good firm hold and say, look, just listen to me now and get into your rhythm, and let's see what we can do here. She had a great round earlier in the diamond class. No problems through the town of Victoria ring there as they wheel around on the right-hand rein into the water. The first time through the water complex, over the jetty, no problems there. The fishermen there on the left and right-hand side. Of course, the horses, something to have a little look at earlier on in the day, but the experienced horses seem to be handling it no problems at all. Up over the bank there for the second time and over the Burswood on Swan complex. Coming around now to eventing in the park. 4 fences, 4 show jump fences. Any of these rails will fall and cause penalties. Oh, the third fence, it rolled, it rocked, but it sat down in the cups. No penalties. You can knock them all as long as they don't hit the ground. You're not penalised. So this horse is rolling along. A little bit of luck there at the third element. A little bit of a slip there by Cesarina as they come around that corner. Nicely over the Channel 9 fence. Very big wide fence, and this is a very, very wide combination. Over the TAB corners. Coming around now over the guitar and piano and the really tough fence here. You'll see Kate sitting up, compressing the stride, really making sure that Cesarina listens and pops over that fence as a show jump fence and not an eventing fence, which the horse would normally really attack. So that fence would have caused penalties if she had taken it. She's very close to the finish now. 3 or 4 fences to go. Horse in lovely forward rhythm. She still looks strong though. This is not an easy ride for Kate as she pops over the very big Shacks Holden fence, one of the major sponsors here today. Over the very little narrow mushroom fence. You can't see much of it from the camera angle, but it's very narrow indeed. Kate saw a lovely big stride. You saw her right on. She's happy again. A lovely big pat down the neck from Kate Ingham and Springfield Cesarina.
Lining the borders of the main arena, we have these beautifully presented marquees where spectators are treated to a variety of wining and dining options. This really adds to the atmosphere of the event and brings together what eventing in the park is today.
Time to look at Chris Burton from Toowoomba in Queensland. He's competed right around the world, represented Australia at the 2012 London Olympics, and is an Australian Eventer Rider of the Year, Sean.
Well, this man is one of eventing's superstars around the world wherever he goes. He has rock star status. And this horse, he literally has ridden once a day ago.
Wow.
He didn't quite gel with the previous horse that he had been allocated. And Jess Manson, the young lady from Western Australia who's already ridden her legal star around the course, offered this horse to Chris, a relatively inexperienced horse that she purchased from Tasmania last year. And all credit to Chris, he is doing a great job on a relatively inexperienced horse, but he did tell Jess he really loved it and he was happy to have this horse as his mount in the big class today. And it is going along like it's been doing it all its life through the town of Victoria. The ring there, and as they come around to one of the first big questions, through the water, 2 strides, over the jetty, no problems there for 2 chances and Chris Burton. Up to the bank, over the Easy Pride's fence, and the bank especially built here for this competition, nicely over the Burswood on Swan. Now, one of the really big questions for a horse and rider combination that don't know each other very well, 4 jumps in a line, any knock here incurs penalties, and those rails haven't moved. beautifully through the four fences. That's why this guy is one of the top riders in the country, and if not around the world. Sits beautifully on a horse, and for a horse that he's only ridden once before and a few jumps in the warm-up arena this morning, boy, they could really go close to taking this off. They seem to be going along nicely. The horse, every now and then, you'll just watch, he lifts his head up and says, look, I'm not sure what you're asking me. Well, they've only worked together once before, so understandable. One of the big questions, a lot of the horses have taken this and incurred 4 penalties over the dolphin fences, into the water, and a very narrow fence there at the brush. This horse and rider combination look like they've been together for a whole season. What a great job he's doing so far. The Winteringham recruitment fence, the big pink fence in the middle of the fantastic arena here at Venting in the Park. Over the Narrows Bridge, 2 fences to go. I think it's the Shacks Holden fence, and then the Black Swan. Can this combination really pull off a great result? They'll be in the top 3 or 4 over the Narrow Mushroom. The Black Swan, the last fence. This combination only put together in a day ago, and how did they go? The judge will call this one.
Well, that puts him right in the frame, you think, for the Holden Captiva. Well done, Chris Burt. As we move on now to a man from South Australia, represented the Australian show jumping team in Zimbabwe in 1996, and that team won gold. We're talking about Anthony Thomas on levitation.
Well, great to see Anthony back in Western Australia. Great history here. Anthony started off as a pure show jump rider, and here he is now. He's seen the light, I believe, and he's and he's now really giving himself a go at eventing. And great to see him here. He's bought his own horse all the way from South Australia because he really feels as though he can give this a shot, and he's doing a great job. He's one of the last riders in this afternoon.
In fact, he is the last.
The 50th rider in the Grand Prix class, and I know the crowd are right on the edge of their seats here because we know this man has the experience, the horse's experience, and he didn't bring it all this way to run second, I can tell you. Oh, a bit sticky through the town of Victoria Park Ring. Boy, that nearly did bring him unstuck, but now he comes through the water complex. Now this is where the experience really starts to shine, because that little bubble there, that won't faze Anthony at all, and he'll just get his mind on the job, focus on the next fence. Now this is where he comes into his own. Show jumping fences, 4 fences. He comes in, he'll just know he gave that little touch. The horse is drifting a little bit to the left-hand side there, you'll see, as they come down the line. He didn't stick right in the middle. So things are getting, it's the last thing of the day. Maybe he's just a little bit ruffled. Got out of stride there as he came through, and now over the sawdust crossing there towards the Channel 9 fence. Anthony just seems to be having to take a hold, a big strong fella, so this horse is going through beautifully through the TAB, through the double there, and as he comes around the corner now for the piano and the guitar fence, the dolphin fence. Everyone holds their breath. The last horse through this afternoon. Does he clear it? No penalties through the water and the dolphin fence. A big jump over the narrow hedge at the back. Anthony spins around. He knows he's close to the clock. He's giving this a real shot over the Winteringham recruitment fence. The Narrows Bridge is next. No penalties. He wheels around. We've got 3 or 4 fences to go. Could the last horse take the whole competition? The Shacks holding a huge jump there. And now he has to ease up. He holds the horse. The little narrow mushroom fence. Pops over the Black Swan. Will he take a big stride? Will he roll into it? 3, 4, jump, and he's over the finish line. A clear round for Anthony Thomas. What a round!
New Zealander Clark Johnson has had a whirlwind couple of weeks. He won the 3-star at Puanui last weekend in Auckland on a personal best score of 39. He has just been named one of the top 30 under 30 eventers by eventingconnect.today and returns to Perth as one of the hot favourites here at Eventing in the Park. Clark, you finished 3rd here last year. What do you think your chances are this year?
Well, I've got twice as many horses to ride this year, so hopefully that doubles my chances. There's some really nice horses, so I'd like to think I've got a good chance of a prize, hopefully a car.
And this year's course, do you think it's any different?
I do. I think there's more focus on the cross-country jumping this year, so I think we might see a bit more fast, hard and fast cross-country type riding, but the difficulty-wise I think is probably pretty similar.
And with 2 horses in the Diamond and the Grand Prix class, What's going to be your tactics for this event?
Well, I think really with each horse I'm just going to try my best to jump a fast clear round.
It's all showing all his experience there.
I won't be able to watch any riders go before my first ride in the Grand Prix class, so that means you sort of go into the ring not really knowing what to expect, but the horse is quite an experienced horse, so I think I can trust him to jump around well, and I'll just be trying to jump a fast clear round.
Clark Johnston, one of our visiting Kiwi riders, didn't have the best of days, unfortunately. Sometimes you gel with your horses. At this stage, they were going along beautifully, and they came around to the musical fence there, the giant guitar and piano, just wheeling around there as they come onto the very difficult Dolphin rail, very light. Oh, they just took the 4 penalties there, and unfortunately that just rattled the horse. And when the horse gets rattled, unfortunately it's a bit of a train smash, and that was bad luck for Megapixel. Clark's second horse this afternoon, a little horse called Pat's Mate, can really jump big fences, but this was a big question for a relatively inexperienced horse. Through the 4 fence eventing in the park, and just took the rail there, which incurred 4 penalties, which put him out of the race.
With a Holden Captiva on the line in beautiful Perth, Western Australia, it is Chris Burton from Queensland that takes the prize ahead of D'Agostino, who's had a very good event. Kate Ingham's had a good event as well, making the top 10. A great event here for eventing in the park.
The winner of the 2012 Solid Gold eventing in the park is Chris Burton, on 2 chances.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much. Terrific event.
So what does it mean to win this one?
Well, it's not every day of the week you win a car, is it? So what a great show. First time to WA, and we'll be back for sure because this is amazing.
Talk us through your run, your thoughts on it.
Oh, look, the horse had been beautifully prepared by Jess Manson, so in many ways all the hard work was done. All I had to do was steer him around. So I was delighted to come in first, and great day.
So I know it's your first time in Perth. Your thoughts on the area and the event itself?
Well, what a special event. I hope everyone comes back next year. Well, I'm sure they will, because it's on the river with the Perth skyline. It doesn't get much more special than this, does it?